And we continue with another rapid game, this time against a guy with a rating of 1950 on leeches. And we again started with the Sicilian defense. He started with knight f3 and I play e6. He's going for the open Sicilian, where I of course take the pawn. He will take with the knight. And now I have several options. I will go for a sideline and we will see how he is doing there, if he's knowing his stuff. Note that e5 is a typical mistake, as it would blunder the pawn immediately. So he's just developing, and I'm also developing my knight here. If he takes, I always want to take towards the center, because then I have a strong pawn mass and I can play d5, having already more influence in the center. If he's going c4, I also have other options, but he already now blunders the pawn with a quite well-known motive. Queen a5, he should pay attention to my checks, and now this pawn is just gone. If you wonder, is it worth bringing the queen out that early for winning such a pawn? My answer is definitely yes in this case, because the position is very close. He has no chance to quickly counter-attack because I'm just so solid here. And yeah, that's basically the main reason. So he plays bishop e3, and now I can maybe even attack this pinned bishop and try to weaken his pawn structure and continue my initiative. Still, I'm threatening to win another pawn. My position is still very solid. And yeah, maybe he should just protect it, but I will take anyway with a much better position for black. Let's see what he's coming up with. Queen e2, okay, we will take. He should take with the pawn, because he's a pawn down, he should not trade too many pieces. So now we have a choice. We could either just castle, or we could also develop the rook first, asking some questions about the b2 pawn, which I actually also like. He might castle queenside then, but yes, I also just played a developing move. I think it doesn't matter so much. We should not spend too much time on such tiny decisions, because it won't change the result too much. Sometimes it's just better to make a move quickly in such situations and save the time for more important moments later when we really need to calculate something, because here there is basically nothing to calculate. I think neither move is a clear win, and so I can just improve the position. My position should be much better, or maybe already winning, because he's a pawn down and he is having a weak pawn, and black is having no weaknesses at all. Also note that maybe if he plays rook b1, we can already sack again. Always check your captures, because if takes, I take here and I fork king and rook. So that's impossible. Also b3 not possible. So I think we force him to castle queenside. And that's another reason why it's maybe good to insert rook b8 first. Let's see what he's doing. Knight d1 he could play, but of course the knight is very misplaced on d1, and that's not a move you want to make. Also, after castle, we might even improve our idea of castling kingside with knight d5. But okay, let's focus on the new situation. If I take the pawn, is he getting some initiative for it? He can take the open file, but not really, because his knight is also hanging. He could play knight to a4, but I will just retreat, and still I will make it to castle kingside. So I will take the second pawn, because to me he has no counterplay. There is no danger. You need to check the captures and the threats, but he basically has no captures and threats. I think this move is pretty forced, after which I have a pleasant choice. And okay, this one doesn't scare me either. I will just retreat. And now 2 pawns up. His pawn structure is quite shattered, and I will just finish the development, and then also finish the development of this bishop. Okay, he's going to f2 with the knight, maybe coming here, but this trade definitely doesn't bother me, because if we trade, also e3 is lost. So where does he want to go? Maybe he has some attacking ideas, but g5 is still under my control. If he goes to f4, I think not really much happening. So I could consider either fighting for the center or bringing out my bishop. Maybe d5 is not such a good idea. Maybe I have a better idea with bringing the bishop to the long diagonal. I actually like this more, because d5, it takes space in the center, but it also blocks my own bishops. I will start with this one here. He has no real attacking ideas. We should pay attention though to some rook f6, queen f6 and queen h5, but we can defend quite safely, and also, yeah, later we could take this rook, so it's not possible. So let's play c5, try to develop our last undeveloped piece, maybe trade even further, or just put it to c6, where it's controlling a lot of squares. So let's see what he's doing now. Basically, it's very hard to find ideas. His pieces are just awkwardly placed, many weaknesses. He cannot even bring this rook into the attack, because the other rook would be dropping. So it's, yeah, really just a losing position. Does he have any ideas? Always pay attention. If you have too much time not knowing what he's doing, try to look for ideas what he could play, because seeing counterplay early on will make it less dangerous. So always keep watching out, even though you're winning by a lot, you're clearly winning. Always look for ideas your opponent could come up with. Yes, maybe he can play on the open file, but I was intending just put my bishop here. If he is trying to double the rooks, okay, I could play the bishop somewhere, but he did not do this, so let's focus on the new situation. Rook to e1, maybe he wants to play his pawn to e4. But I'm not afraid of this, because he would also close in his own bishop. So I will go with bishop b7 as planned, and we will see if he plays this move, but I wouldn't be that afraid. If he doesn't play it, maybe I bring my bishop here. Okay, now he's playing queen to f2, and I think we have a good chance to trade something with knight to g4, because we are threatening mate and we are threatening the queen. And trades are in general advantageous for us, because we are material up. After knight g4, we should just pay attention to some checks. Check and check, but I can save the knight and the position, and I would win his bishop. So let's go for this, trading some stuff. I think there is not really much he can do. He could play queen to f4, as this answer blunders the mate, and the game is over. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.